Hey everybody, this is Daniel Rajan from the product marketing team at Coveo.
And I'm Mathieu Lavoie-Sabourin from our product management team at Coveo.
Today we're excited to bring to you Coveo for Agentforce 2.0, a big step in enabling Agentforce get smarter with better knowledge, even more context, and giving you greater control. Let's dive in. The challenge today is, like any AI agent, Agentforce needs to be grounded by all of your enterprise knowledge, which is often large and complex in terms of file sizes and formats and permissions.
We're not talking about 2-3 repositories. We're talking about large enterprises that typically will have 15, 20, 30 different repositories across different types of connectors that need to be brought in together.
And millions of documents and items. And the challenge is this knowledge lives in places outside of Salesforce, and each team has their own preferred tool to store this knowledge and context. And so this results in multiple sources of truth. And the challenge to unify all of this knowledge is costly, it's disruptive, and just not practical. And this is why we released Coveo for Agentforce in the first place. Coveo unifies all of this knowledge regardless of where it lives. It now becomes the single source of truth for Agentforce to be grounded. And then using our proprietary RAG, AI, and ML models, it retrieves the best of the best content, setting up Agentforce to deliver on self-service success and helps you improve operational efficiencies. So before Matthew jumps into the demo, I'd love for you to talk about Coveo for Salesforce in general, broader than Agentforce. Talk about our partnership and our integration.
We have a great history with Salesforce. We've been a longtime partner, contributing to the Salesforce platform by additioning the Coveo AI Relevance platform, which essentially allows to tap into all of the knowledge that enterprises that we work with have spread across lots of different repositories. Once again, not 4 or 5 repositories, not content that only lives in Salesforce. We have over 40 different connectors, as well as universal connectors to bring content from everywhere across the enterprise into a single source of truth. What we've then done over the last years is then power Salesforce experiences with our relevance AI models to power better search experiences that are more relevant, our multi-stage RAG, to power generative answering experiences to deliver end-to-end answers to help improve self-service, case deflection, and agent efficiency. Also adding behavioral analytics to better understand the success that we're delivering, and APIs to increase the connectivity and the types of integrations that we can power. And we've done so very successfully, notably across Salesforce Commerce Cloud, Salesforce Experience Cloud, and Salesforce Service Cloud. But things kind of took a shift recently with Agentforce, which brought us to release our first Agentforce integration in the spring, allowing for that unified hybrid index and our connectivity to then power Agentforce experiences as well, making agents smarter, more accurate, and better to help large enterprises benefit and accelerate time to value with Agentforce.
Got it. So Coveo is an AI search and generative answering company. That's our strength. But now with Agentforce, we are diving into the agentic era and setting up Agentforce to retrieve content and knowledge from any source and really grounding Agentforce to deliver. So exactly. I want to ask, how is Coveo different to what Data Cloud would do for Agentforce?
That's a great question, and we are complementary to Data Cloud, or essentially we augment Data Cloud when it comes to adding more content. So if you think of Data Cloud and Coveo as your memory or your brain that will power your agent, Coveo allows to expand that brain and ensure that that brain can actually help make Agentforce successful for large enterprises that have a lot of content, which would be very difficult or nearly impossible to migrate into Data Cloud. Again, we're thinking about large quantities that go way beyond 100K, for example. So what we've seen, if knowledge is all in Salesforce and you have maybe fewer than a few dozens of thousands of documents, Data Cloud will likely be a fit for you, but the types of enterprise we work with will have way over 100K documents. We're talking about millions of documents that need to be retrieved, multiple sources, scattered with complex personalization and relevance needs, as well as complex item-level permissions, for example. This is where Coveo can really be brought in to help ensure success in an Agentforce deployment by ensuring that all the content, all the intelligence, and the knowledge that's spread across and available for those large enterprises can be made available for Agentforce.
Awesome. And Matthew, you mentioned our partnership goes a long way. And so over the last decade or so, we've been working closely with Salesforce enterprises, and they really trust Coveo, depend on Coveo for to be their search and retrieval layer. And what that really has resulted over the years, just highlighting a few stories along the way, is that Coveo has impacted these enterprises in terms of self-service success, case deflection, and cost savings in customer service. So a lot of shared success with Salesforce over the years. So I want to dive into the demo. Matthew, I'd love for you to talk about Coveo for Agentforce 2.0. Show us what's changed.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into that. All right, so let's now dive into a demo and showing what Coveo has actually brought to Agentforce to make it more accurate and more relevant. So the first thing we develop with our action is the possibility to tap into Coveo to retrieve content from across multiple repositories, allowing a larger breadth of content and knowledge to be used, making Agentforce more accurate, smarter, more relevant. So here in this example, I'm a support agent working in Service Cloud using Agentforce to answer a question, but I could also be, for example, an end user or a client using Agentforce within Experience Cloud, for example, with the same use. So the first thing I'll do here is just ask a question, right? What we do here under the hood is very simple. We go and tap into Coveo's retrieval layer, retrieving the very best content from across all sources available in a Coveo index, making sure we then retrieve the very best passages, the very best chunks of text, providing that back to Agentforce so that Agentforce can provide more accurate answer using, again, a larger breadth of content, whether this content lives in Salesforce or whether it lives in Jira or Confluence or SharePoint or any other complex repository that needs to be brought in, making sure those answers are more accurate. Another thing we've developed also is tapping into the intelligence layer that we have and the large language models that we have. We've built an action to help classify cases. So we have a proprietary large language model under the hood, which will find what is the most relevant and accurate classification to classify this case here, which, as you can see, doesn't have a classification. It was created without the both and first category classification. So here Coveo will serve as the intelligence layer to find what is the most likely classification based on historical cases that were closed and properly classified, providing that intelligence back to Agentforce, allowing Agentforce to then take this intelligence, apply it to the record, or for the support agent to make the changes themselves.
It's awesome. So classification of cases, it actually takes time, especially for enterprises with a long list of taxonomies and categories. And a misclassified case is a big culprit in delaying response times and delaying resolution times. Also messes with analytics when cases are misclassified. So this is a really, really good use case. So there's question answering, there's case classification. And so now what's improved in Coveo for Agentforce 2.0?
Well, yes, to bring this a step further, what we've done is we've brought the possibility to first and foremost control the prompt, right? So allowing Agentforce to use Coveo within a prompt template where we've seen users use this tool for more flexibility, more complex prompt, asking your LLM or your agent to talk in a specific tone and providing just longer, more complex instructions that can also tap into dynamic variables, such as RAPX classes to retrieve content from Coveo directly within a prompt template. So that's the control piece. And then the second piece we've added is context, allowing you to tap into context about the record, such as the subject, the description, the categories, or context about the user, for example, what region that user is in, what is their role, or what business line they work in, which can then allow to perform actions such as solve this case, for example, which will be using both the context of the case, so the subject, the description, the categorizations, as well as a prompt template to have more control over how the output should be delivered, essentially tapping into the very best that's available within Agentforce, but also the very best content that's available within Coveo, ensuring they provide a better end-to-end resolution to a case, once again tapping into all the possible content that lives within the Coveo index.
This is really powerful. So essentially case resolution is out-of-the-box use case with Coveo for Agentforce 2.0.
Very seamless and very easy to do, but also very customizable. And with that customization, we've even seen the other possible use case be brought with our new integration, such as create a knowledge base article from this case. So using the information in the case, the notes that an agent has entered, and then tapping into Coveo once again to retrieve what is the relevant existing documentation about this issue, right? On top of any new information that may have been brought in the case itself. And then using a flow, we're able here to actually create a brand new knowledge article from scratch, using Agentforce with Coveo as the grounding layer to create new knowledge, which will of course then accelerate reusability of that knowledge and ensure that such cases don't need to be created by end users in the future, as content will now exist to solve those cases upstream.
Awesome. So in essence, Coveo for Agentforce 2.0 gives you more context, it gives you more control, and this sets you up really to open up a whole world of possibilities in unlocking new actions, new use cases for customer service and support.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Hey, thanks, Matt, for walking us through the demo. It's really, really powerful. So to take us home, why is Coveo critical for Agentforce? For one, it helps accelerate your implementation. Your knowledge can live in any source. Coveo's unified index and out-of-the-box connectors makes it faster to implement Agentforce. Secondly, it actually brings any content regardless of formats and files and sizes and permissions. And so there's universal connectivity that Coveo brings and also respects and enforces item level permissioning. All these are usual obstacles that we've been hearing talking to customers in implementing Agentforce successfully. And the one other point is it helps you preserve data cloud credits for what it's really meant for, which is structured data use cases. So using Coveo as the source of truth for unstructured data in your enterprise knowledge, it helps you preserve that data cloud credits for structured data use cases. And lastly, Coveo is really the foundation to power agentic experiences through Agentforce. Matt, any final words?
No, I think you've brought it brilliantly, and we've seen great success so far with our clients testing out Coveo for Agentforce and bringing this to self-service as well as agent use cases, essentially making Agentforce responses better, going from okay response to making the response much more accurate, much more powerful,
Yep.
and using again a larger breadth of content, which is really the key differentiator of using Coveo.
So Coveo for Agentforce 2.0 is available on the Agent Exchange today, and we're excited for what you are going to do with it. Thank you.